Can we make it quick?
As best I can. Okay, Mr. Hyde, will you please give us the invocation, sir?
Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you once again for this day that you have given us, and we pray as we meet here tonight to conduct the county's business that you will give us the special wisdom and discernment to make the right and best decision for the county and the citizens. We pray in thy name. Amen.
Okay, without objection for the approval of the agenda, I would like to add one item, which was it's a pass-through grant request for $14,952 that came in from the Sheriff's Department. They just got it today. Pass-through funds, without objection, I would like to add that.
Where?
I'll put it under my report.
Okay.
I'll just put it under my report, item B. I think I can handle it there. Anything?
How much was that again?
Yeah, $14,952. Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Recognition of the public, Mr. Kevin Bagert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kevin Baker, 424 A.B. Wade Road. I'd like to talk about the redistribution of wealth that you're proposing, sir. I'm all for giving to charities, and I think it should be done through charitable organizations, not the government. That sounds too much like what Mondami wants to do up in New York City. Taking money from one group and giving it to another just doesn't sit well with me. Especially when you look at 2.8% was the increase that everybody on Social Security is going to get this year. Well, maybe me and Mr. Hyde, I don't know if anybody in here. But yet our budgets grew across the board somewhere north of 4%. Okay, so we're already funding pretty well a lot of stuff. I think it's irresponsible to be taking from, some of everybody's having to pay taxes, not only in property taxes and sales taxes. That's all going in, but it's never included in the 2.8%, the cost of living. The cost of taxes never gets rolled into that, and that's just not quite right. When somewhere around 20,000 people per the census says that they in Sumner County live at or below the poverty level. So what are you going to give them? $100 each? Well, that's $2 million. That's 2 pennies of tax. Why didn't we do that during budget time? If you want to do something, why don't we curb the grocery tax for everybody? That's just, you're taking food out of people's mouths. That'd be a great way to do it. Everybody benefits. So I just wanted to plant those seeds when a large portion of our population is getting 2.8%, and we keep just kind of giving money away willy-nilly. That's not right. It's too much like communism, and I didn't think Tennessee supported that. There are some people in this room that ran on the idea of, is that the role of government? Well, the role of government isn't to redistribute wealth and to pick winners or losers. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Mr. Mike McClard.
Mike McClard, 102 Children Trail, Hendersonville. Just a side item I'd like to add. I'd only meant to talk about one thing, but I see the volunteer fire department is on there. I think that's coming up in October, but I really think that they need to be helped as much as they can. I live in the county. Chapel Island is my local fire department, and they've done a great job. What I'd really like to speak about is the budget, under the budget item, was discussing of one-time support for needy families. I agree with a lot of what Mr. Kevin said, but I had my boss tell me one time that the true mark of a society is how it treats its young and its old. So, I really think we need to do as much as we can. I know a lot of the churches are doing what they can. I'll give you a little example of what's happening at Long Hollow. They're doing right now the food for families for Thanksgiving. They've, people have picked up 3,000 tote bags that they're supposed to bring back with food for Thanksgiving, along with a gift card so a turkey can be purchased. As of today, when I spoke to Mark Hopkins over there, 1,600 of those bags have been returned full of food. Those will be distributed. They've got one more week, this next week and next Sunday, so they're hoping to get back close to 2,500 to the 3,000 of food, and that all that'll be passed out. What they don't, they go through the school system, and the school guidance offices direct them towards the needy, and that's how they do it. And what if they have an overflow from that? Gallatin Cares is where they take the food. They're also doing a program that started last year. It's called End Hunger in Sumner. Some of you may have heard about it. It also goes through the school system. The guidance counselors determine the children in needy. I know I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the backpacks the kids take home on the weekends for food, because they don't, you know, they might not get anything if that didn't go home. But Long Haul does it a little different. They have food every day. They take food and drop it off to schools, and the counselors make sure the kids have it. So they have food every day to take home. There's 300 to 400 kids in Sumner County have been identified as being in a food emergency, which means if they don't take food home from school, they might not have any to go back to school the next morning. They're in 10 schools right now. They hope to be in 15 by May. One of the pastors was telling us here about a month ago that they dropped off food, and there was a little kindergarten girl that they usually get the food at the end of the day, but she was so concerned about her food that she wanted to get it right then, as soon as they got there that morning. I mean, can you imagine a child that is concerned about what they're going to eat that night, that they want to go ahead and get it and put in their backpack so they've got it? I mean, here we are in the greatest country in the world, and we've got children right here in Sumner County, and it just breaks my heart. And I'm not asking you guys to put out money. I know you couldn't do it to churches anyway, but keep that in mind in your own lives, in your own churches, and any of the other organizations that you can give money to. I suggest you do it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Brooklyn White.
Hello. First of all, I want to underscore what he just said before I started asking.
Could you state your
Yeah.
your address, please, ma'am?
Sure. I live at 933 Sunset Drive.
Thank you, ma'am.
I want to underscore what he just said. What he just said is really important. Before I ask or support other budget things, we need to feed kids. They can't learn and do other things without eating. It's one of the foundational things that we have to have met before we can really do anything else. Just making sure our safety is met and that our bellies are full. But I wanted to also talk about the volunteer fire department. I know that was talked about here. It was talked about at the county commission meeting. I just want to say that I would support funding them. I know that there's concern about where that money is going to come from long term. It's not sustainable to just keep finding budget places to give it to them without that. And I understand there's that ad hoc committee coming up to talk about that. But I don't think we can keep just pushing it off until another committee figures it out. So I would support that you guys also support, especially when it comes back up in front of the commission again, to allow them that one time and then maybe go from there for where it comes from after that. Also, I've been doing some reading of what's going on with the election commission. I saw at the last meeting that there was a budget item, so I wanted to do some more research. And tonight I saw that there's something about convenience center voting, and I wanted to know what that was about. So convenience center voting would allow us to vote like you would at early voting, I understand it's been approved by the state for us to have convenient voting in favor of us otherwise having to add more precincts every time we grow. And I learned that precincts have a cost each year to add new ones. Polling staff, all those kinds of things. Convenience voting would allow people to go where, like they do for early voting. So you would show up, just like you would present your ID, answer the questions you're supposed to answer, and then you can vote at any of those polling places that were available for the day. And essentially, they would be able to do that on the general election day. I know we have elections coming up next year, so I'm assuming it's pretty important that we get that passed soon. And I saw that there's a higher cost for the convenience voting on the front end, but then I also did some more research about that. Turns out it's a one-time cost. So we would be paying that up front, or the commission would be allotting that funds up front for them to make that convenient voting switch. And then long-term, they wouldn't have to keep trying to fund precincts each time that it expands. So I just wanted to just give my support and say that I think we should do that. I think that a lot of people on their way home from work or whatever else they have going on would love to be able to stop at a convenient voting center. I think it would support families with children, and I think it would benefit a lot of people, and it sounds like something that needs to happen. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Brad Williams.
I will try to keep this brief. Of course, I'm here to support the volunteer fire department. Brad Williams, 1916 Highway 31W. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Myself.
Go ahead.
Keep this really brief. Of course, I support the volunteer fire departments. We do have a few people here tonight to speak. If you have any questions that you want to know about, we'll be happy to answer any questions. I know that the money we're looking at this year is not going to be a long-term fix. We all know that, and we know it's not very budgetarily conducive coming in here in October, asking for money I will say should have been there in July, but it's very needed. I mean, I explain to you every week and every month how bad the fire departments are doing right now, and it's a true statement. If we can do it this year, get the additional money, then the ad hoc committee can talk about long-term solutions. There's already been some other funding methods that have been brought up, not just fire taxes, but other places that money could possibly come from. But like I mentioned before, even the $650, that gets us back to kind of status quo. It's not going to be progressive and help anything move forward. One thing I do ask, though, is if you have a question or if you want to do something about the money or you want to change something around, move a decimal or whatnot, ask one of us. One thing that aggravates me worse than anything is when people who are not involved in the day-to-day or the operation of something. Now, granted, I know it's y'all's money to give us, technically, with the budget process, but when you kind of make decisions on a grand scale and you don't understand what the decisions affect us on that hand, it'd be really nice just to be brought in for a quick question or, hey, if we change this to this, how will that affect you? Would be great. One example of that is changing. I presented a while ago about if we were going to do $1 million and divide it a different way that the chiefs and I had talked about and agreed to. And then in the meetings, let's go back to per station or let's go back to department, which changes the math massively, which we're all happy with 100,000 per station, so don't let that shake you from doing anything. But I just do ask, if you do want to make any other changes or thought processes, let's at least talk to one of us first or ask a quick question, see if that makes a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, that concludes recognition of the public. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes,
Motion.
Second.
and I'll abstain because I missed the first half.
Abstain.
All right, and then we have 2 abstentions. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Okay, I'll do my report real quick. I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to mention kind of what my thought process here was for the support for one-time support for needy families. So I want to be super clear. I was not talking here about, not in my mind here to cut checks to people. This came up based on just watching news and then having conversations with people relative to the government shutdown and SNAP benefits being cut, or not being cut, but being paused. And I'm just going to be super simple about it. I don't know that we necessarily need to do anything now because I think this is going to be resolved tonight. But I do want to explain what my plan was here, what my thought process was. So the part of it is super simple. I grew up really poor, and I don't want to be the guy who turned my back on the kid that I used to be. And we had one speaker here who made a very good comment about how you treat your young and your old. And I think that's very, very, very true. So that was now that's the feel-good stuff, right? But there's also, how do you do it? I paid attention to some criticism of the governor for not putting money towards SNAP benefits, but as that turned out, I think that's actually there wasn't a good mechanism to do that. So what I had thought to do here, what I was going to propose, is to draft a resolution encouraging the state to stand up a winter feeding program similar to the summer feeding program that they have done in the past, and that the county might do some kind of matching toward it to kind of show, hey, we'll put in here, if you will. I don't know that it's necessary now, because I do think that from all indications the government shutdown is going to end. But I wanted to explain my impetus for it, what I was thinking about doing, and it was not cutting checks to people. It was about sending maybe a message to the state and to try to lead the way on that. So I'm fine to table this unless somebody wants to make a motion, and I'll let everybody know the reason I'm tabling it is because I put this here in response to the government shutdown, and I think that's going to be a moot point. So anyway, any other discussion on that? Mr. Sittler.
You say table it, or are you saying bring it back as old business, or you'll bring it up?
We can table it. You can
Okay.
strike it. I mean, I will bring it back up if the government shutdown doesn't end, because I think we should.
Okay,
But assuming it doesn't, then lay it on the table, let it go.
Okay.
Unless somebody wants to. Okay. Next item, Sheriff's Grant. This is a pass-through grant. Just received this for $14,952.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
I just have to oppose because I couldn't read it.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is.
And when they listen, it has nothing to do with their grant. I just didn't read it. So
That's-
I can't vote for something I didn't read.
So this will need a second reading?
It's
Will it?
pass-through? I don't think
No,
it does.
I'm asking.
Yeah, Ms. Browning, I don't think this needs is this pass-through, right? Okay. Yeah, it doesn't need a second reading.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm a
Go ahead.
no as well.
Okay, so we have 2 noes. This motion still carries. Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I just have one item, and it goes to this whole discussion that we previously had with food. On Wednesday, we'll be issuing a press release that Sumner County's partnering with Mid-Cumberland Action Agency to provide food for needy families. So it's not costing the county any money. We're basically just disseminating the information, helping them get that out to the families so that they can get the food. But we'll be partnering with them.
With who?
Mid-Cumberland Action
Mid-Cumberland.
Agency.
Okay.
So there'll be a press release. If people ask us, they can look there for
Right.
information on Wednesday.
Right.
Mr. Harrison.
Will the county be like putting a Facebook post out or something like that that we commissioners could share on our
Sure.
individual pages?
Yeah, it'll come out on the county page.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll distribute it to the press as well for them to use.
Any other notes, Mr. Mayor?
That's all, my report.
Okay. Ms. Browning, you are in the driver's seat. How are you today?
Great.
All right, your show, ma'am.
Not much to report. The financial statements will be on the county website next Monday. There was some talk at the last meeting about the letter that we'd received from the comptroller for the budget. Mr. Long did email Charlie Lester with the state. His reply is on page 6 at the top, and I think Mr. Sittler had actually responded to him on that.
I've received a response from, if I may, Chairman. I received a response from him that he was gonna have to look at what I sent him, and he anticipates getting back with me next week.
So this is consulting with, so this is, you're saying that you are consulting with an attorney to whether this extends the school system to review?
No, I've been asked the question, and there was some clarification that was needed, and based on the statements from the comptroller, I needed them to understand exactly what we were talking about. So I'm back and forth with the comptroller,
Okay.
basically.
So maybe I would ask if, do you have any findings currently or preliminary findings that you'd be prepared to discuss, or do you want to hold?
The comptroller really didn't want to give an answer other than consult, basically it summed up with consult with your county attorney.
So
So I gave him my interpretation, and he said he was gonna review
Okay,
and give me theirs.
okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
I've read through that thing twice and I'm still confused. What's the?
Yeah, that's.
It was about a finding, I think we were wanting to get corrected on, there were 2 items, and it was one of those items, is that right, Beth?
Yeah, it was,
About this,
the fund balance policy.
yeah, the fund balance policy for the
On the back
schools.
page. Mhm.
Do we have any-
Trying to commit them to a reserve, and whether we
Okay.
had the ability to do that.
Got it. So, okay. So well, go ahead. Did you have another question? Because I was going to ask you something.
Go ahead.
So
and ask
mine
me,
is,
you'll have
in your
some-
opinion, can we or cannot?
I don't see how we can at the moment, but I'm fine
Okay.
with being told I'm wrong.
So you.
I just wanna see it.
You want to be given guidance from the comptroller directly
Yes,
on this?
so
Got
that
it.
we don't get another audit finding that says we did something wrong.
Got it. Okay. Did you have another question? Then I'll get you, Ms. Boyd.
Is this the same reserve account that's supposedly 143
This is
million
about
right now?
placing in an additional mandate of sorts.
So a different reserve account?
To maintain a specific reserve amount, our
That we
ability
would-
as a commission
to
to
impose that.
mandate that.
Oh, can we do that?
That's the
That's-
question.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, good, okay. Now I think I understand.
Ms. Boyd.
So just to clarify, I want to clarify. So the audit results were they were actually giving us a finding because we did not have a formal
No,
policy?
this isn't the audit results.
Okay.
This is
That's my
when we
question.
submitted the budget letter with our FY '26 budget. This is the letter they sent back acknowledging they had received it. And one of their recommendations
Okay.
was for this.
Oh, they
the fund balance
recommend that we might
policy.
need a policy.
Yeah.
For the
But it's-
schools, we have one.
Oh, I
Correct.
understand.
So then the question is, can we dictate or impose on the schools?
Put teeth to it.
Yeah. Do we have that authority? That's
I
the
understand.
crux of the
Thank
question.
you for the
Where does
clarification.
that authority, where would that theoretically come from?
This is the discussion I'm having
That's
with
the
the
$1
comptroller.
million question
Yes.
right there.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions on this? I don't know that we need to do anything with this, Beth. Do we? Okay. Go ahead. I know we need to do something with transfers, so,
Okay, well,
well, we need to vote on it.
here's the transfers. If anybody has any
We
questions?
have a motion?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Browning, are there anything that, I see no new money in there. Is there anything that jumped out at you?
No.
Mr. Klein, I know there were a couple things that jumped out at you.
Well, I talked to Ms. Browning and it's all regular money that's just transfers within the department, so it,
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Well done, Ms. Browning. You are not done, though. I will be leaning on you for many things, I'm sure. Okay, old business. Election Commission, $394,896 for unassigned fund balance for vote center implementation. Is there a motion on this?
I'll make the motion
Motion to,
to approve.
motion to approve. Okay, is there a second? Motion fails for lack of second. Okay, City of Gallatin update. Mr. Mayor, you and I have been, we have had some discussions about this, and I'd entertain a motion to, actually, Mr. Mayor, I think the right thing to do here is just to let you go ahead and give an overview of your thoughts.
Okay, so the spreadsheet that you have outlines all of the fees that went with this project. The darker color, where you've got at the very top, this had to do with the jail addition, which was actually at the very beginning of this project before I was county mayor, you were commissioners. But it was agreed upon by the previous body to pay these, so that's $32,950. And then the yellow, all of those fees were fees that were charged but waived by the city. And then you've got the temporary COs, which totals, I think that was somewhere around 30,000, a little under that. Which is also due, they want the money for the temporary COs. So long story short is the fees that they've waived on this project, that's the jail pod, parking garage, and courthouse, is $421,000. So as of, the amount owed by Gallatin's $907,496. And if we give them the project to do the crosswalk, which we agreed to do that crosswalk, if we give them the authority to complete that, they have allocated $150,000. If that project comes in under $150,000, they'll refund the balance. They will provide all the receipts for that. So if we go with that, then they will pay us. We agree to this spreadsheet and then create an MOU that they will refund us that money, any underage fees from the crosswalk.
The difference would come back.
The difference, yes, will come back to us. They will write us a check now for $703,420.25.
And
We can move past this project.
So I've got a couple questions here.
Yep.
I mean, in general, I want to get something done here. I just want to make sure, I understand. So we start at that $907,496,000. That's what we start at. And then, I'm not saying I agree with this, I'm saying that this spreadsheet would say that we would acknowledge a difference of that would be owed to Gallatin. So we're saying, okay, we will grant you $204,000. But in so doing, we also you have to take over the execution of the crosswalk.
Right.
Can you just outline, so that, just at a high level, is that the correct interpretation of this?
That's accurate.
So, 1 second, and I'll get you, so just to make, I want to understand what that 204,000, what specific things went into that? That's the one question I had on this.
Okay, everything that's in green, well, the darker color,
Yep.
the top part, $32,950, and then add these $3,000 fees for the temporary CO.
Okay.
All of that equals $54,076.
Okay,
You see
And
that now,
then-
Sandy fees?
Yep.
Okay.
Allocate $150,000 for the crosswalk.
I see.
Since we agreed to pay
Got it.
that.
got it,
So we're paying for the crosswalk,
Right.
got it.
but we're giving them.
What we're given,
But then they'll give us back any unused funds.
so we're still paying for it, but they're overseeing it.
Correct. Well, we're
So-
giving them a credit for it, so it amounts to.
All right, Mr. Becker, you were in queue.
That was
All right,
gonna
Ms.
clarify.
Boyd.
And I know this just seems really simple, but I still don't understand. Are we in partnership with them on the garage or not?
No.
We are not. They're not in
We wholly
partnership.
own the garage, they just agreed to pay a portion. We take over all maintenance, that garage belongs to Sumner County.
Oh, excellent, because I just didn't want to, you saw my email, I just didn't want another,
No, I don't.
yeah, you
I
don't
don't want
either.
another partnership.
Yeah,
Mr. Klein?
I mentioned this in Gen Ops, and I'm gonna mention it again, just because it irritates me a little bit. The temporary CO costs them nothing. Costs them absolutely nothing to implement. But they're charging us $3,018 7 times. I know they've waived a lot, and they'll tell you they waived a lot, but I just don't understand the temporary CO costing that much per quarter and them charging it. I think that we should ask for them to waive that as well. I'm not gonna be a stickler on it, I just know how this works in building business, and that's a gimme, that's a windfall. It's just absolutely no reason for it.
Mr. Becker.
What is the reasoning or the story behind the fees that they waived that add up to $421,606? I know it's yellow here, but what's the reasoning? Because I think, I don't disagree with Mr. Klein, but I'm curious, what's their reasoning or the reasoning that, hey, we'll waive these 421,000, but we want this $1,000 a month. To me, I would imagine there's some logical reason, like they care about the $1,000 a month, but yet they're gonna waive $400,000 in other fees.
Yeah, these fees were agreed to be waived at the beginning of the project.
Okay, so what's in yellow was
Yep.
agreed upon before. Okay, so the temporary COs, they were not agreed before. And so while it may not be costing them anything, it's,
We don't have paper on it.
yeah. So,
Is
okay.
that a true statement? Okay.
And the reason we got charged those is because the crosswalk isn't built.
All right. I mean, I'm gonna make a comment, then I'm gonna make a motion here. So, Mr. Klein, and
I know it sounds chicken.
No, Mr. Isabel knows my feelings on this. Like there's a part of me that wanted to approve this, and I may still want to do this contingent on the city of Gallatin paying us what they owe us for the reappraisal fee. You know, like if we want to play these games of who owes.
What reappraisal fee?
They owe us, what, $600,000 for reappraisal?
Right, okay, sorry.
Right, so City of Hendersonville paid. So there's a part of me that really wants to do that, and
Before we cut the check.
but the other part of me, the pragmatic side, to, bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And this is pretty close, and this is, given that we don't have paper on the things that are being cut out here, I'm gonna make a motion, I'm gonna really swallow this.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
after that?
Go ahead.
I heard that if they're gonna do the crosswalk and anything under 150 they would give to the county, what if there's an overage?
Yeah, they're assuming the cost.
So we want to make
it's
sure.
150 or whatever
I
it
will,
costs.
yeah, so here's what that is a good point. I will make a motion to approve this contingent on writing that says that the city of Gallatin will bear any and all costs above what this 150,000.
And a refund of anything lower.
And a refund of anything lower. That is the amendment.
Yeah,
That they bear all,
would be the agreement
that they bear all risk. And subject to that, I would make a motion to approve. Second. Mr. Harris.
Question. You said something about an MOU needed to be part of the motion.
Well, yeah, that would be this agreement that our county attorney
So this will
writes up
take-
based on what you pass here.
Yeah.
It's basically just turning this into a contract,
Yeah,
is what I'm
that's it.
understanding.
Mr.
Yeah.
Becker.
Okay.
What, the line that says amount owed by Gallatin, 907. Where is the 907? What makes up 907?
That was the number that we've been bouncing around for.
Yeah, that's-
They-
But what
2-3
is,
years maybe.
what's included in the 907?
The
That was it.
original amount was 2.4 million.
Okay.
They paid us the rest of it.
Okay. But so
This
the
is
907 is
remaining.
due, but it's all related to the courthouse.
Parking garage.
Parking garage.
Parking-
It was
Okay,
their agreed
parking garage.
commitment to the
There's,
parking.
a little bit of the history on this is,
No, that answered my question.
does it? Okay,
Yes.
I could, there's a little bit more to it than that,
So,
but
but it's parking garage.
it's the parking garage.
Okay.
And this was being held hostage
Yeah.
until this
guess.
crosswalk thing.
And it actually closes up three separate things.
Yeah, my motion's on the floor. Any other discussion on this?
I'd like to make an amendment,
Go
to
ahead.
see how it flies. I'd like to not pay the temporary CO so I'll make a motion to remove that from the.
How much is that total?
21,000 and change. I don't know, 3,018 times 7.
I'll second
Yeah, okay. Any, Ms. Boyd, almost second. Any other discussion on this one?
I was gonna say.
So what
I
if they come
can't-
back and say, okay, we'll waive the
Yeah.
CO, but then we're gonna charge you the plan review? That's the
Yeah.
exact same amount.
I was-
feel like
yeah.
we're just kicking the can for no reason.
That, I
That's
was
what I
gonna
would
say, I
do.
cannot support your amendment because it's just, we're just still circling and
And we're.
I don't know where it's gonna grow
$21,000.
and,
Well,
for $21,000.
Millions of dollars.
well, it's 21 out of 54, so.
I'm
That's
saying, would it
almost
make you feel
half.
better if they had charged no CO, but did charge the plan review? Like, would that have been?
Nothing will make me feel better, honestly, about this whole project. but-
I'm just saying, a lot of the reason we're getting charged that 3,000 is because they were not transparent about anything on the crosswalk. I mean, for a long time, we didn't think it was even our responsibility, isn't that right, Mr. Mayor?
Well, we always knew it was our responsibility. What we were doing was determining if there was a need. And based on traffic, there is a need.
And I
So we were
agree.
trying to avoid it.
And there were some tertiary things in there, right? Like there was some
Well,
secondary, because there was the supporting, like infrastructure changes for the, to get the crosswalk into place, right? There was like now I'm forgetting, like there was a tunnel or something that had to go under, or some flooding that had to be fixed.
Franklin Street.
Yeah.
that was stormwater issue.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
think
actually
that's it.
totally.
Well,
different.
no, it all got tied, anyway.
But
Well,
there-
there's another one coming up here in January.
So, do we have a motion? Any other discussion on this one? Mr. Becker?
To his point, if they refuse to do that, we're gonna end up being charged another $3,000 for the
Well, we
next.
may anyway, depending on how long it takes
Well,
them to
if-
put the
if-
crosswalk in.
Well, it doesn't,
Well, this
this is it. If we approve this tonight, if you all approve this tonight, and the full commission approves a week from tonight, we're done with it.
Yeah.
We're not paying any more money.
That's right.
But if we try to get the 21,000, 20, whatever it is, now, then it resets the clock, all that good stuff.
So
But regarding, you all can vote the way you wanna do. To me, I would, if I was voting here, I would vote for it, so,
Any other discussion on the amendment?
to allow it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, no, I'm
Okay.
not.
I'll go again.
Call the vote for the
No,
amendment.
sorry.
This is a vote for the amendment, and Mr. Klein's amendment is to recapture the temporary COs for a total of about $21,000. Is that correctly stated?
That's correctly
Okay,
stated.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
No.
Okay, I want to vote with you guys.
No, you do.
I wanna vote for two, but just for
But I'm-
21,000.
All right, so now we're on the main. The main is unamended. Any amendments? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Okay, maybe we can actually put something of substance away. This will make me very happy. Well, it doesn't make me happy, but
Say
it's,
something new in January.
You're content.
no, I'm not content, but I'm less not content. Okay, I'm telling you what, while I'm here, if any other stuff where we get into bed on a joint project, all right, Board of Education, budget amendment number 4. Ms. Browning, is there any additional requests for funding for us? I don't think there is.
No, not from us.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve. Second, motion, a second.
I don't know if it's worth pointing out, just if you look at the agenda, these are still pending education's approval, commission.
Fair. Well, would
Which
you,
is,
go ahead.
yeah, this is not any different than what we've done.
So.
I'm not saying it is,
Would
I
you,
just wanted-
would you, as the maker of the motion, fine, just make that still subject to pending?
It's subject to.
All right, so we're good, it's captured. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Canon copier lease.
Motion.
Motion,
Second.
motion a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Was your
Yes.
motion for both? Okay, is the second good with both?
Yes.
Is there anybody who wishes to remove their vote for either of these? Okay, so we'll consider that having been voted for both of them. Okay, appropriation sheriff's office carryover unused funds for AV equipment, $122,971. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Wave.
Oh, we can do it again.
Oh, wait a
Wait,
second.
is the second good with that? All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, courtroom 5C, so this is a big number, but I actually think this came in lower than what we were expecting. Ms. Browning, can you bring us up to speed on this?
So the construction cost for the bid was $659,685.13, with contingency of $15,000, an allocation of $50,000 for the furniture, for a total of $724,685.13. Originally, the estimate was $2 million, back when we originally appropriated this a few years back in the budget. This would come from the restricted fund balance from local capital. Any questions?
Yeah, I've got a question. How did we end up getting a quote when we voted to pull this funding except for the architect fee?
We
This
were
is
able to get,
RFP. We received bids back.
we didn't put
Can we see
funding
the bid
for it.
packet?
You have the
You have a
letter
load?
from the
Yeah, I
architect,
see that.
we have those.
No way in the world I'm voting for it, given that we've got other folks here that have presented needs. No way I'm voting for it.
All right, is there a motion to approve this? I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll say.
Motion and a second, okay. I rarely do that, but I wanted to, okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this, Mr. Becker?
What, can you repeat, Ms. Brown, where would this money come from? From capital?
Yes, restricted local capital.
Okay,
And how much do we have in restricted local capital?
It's around 24, I believe.
$24 million.
So just to make sure remind everybody, that's a different pocket that you're reaching into versus potentially funding
Correct.
volunteer fire departments.
Correct, yeah, yes, this is a.
Capital versus.
This is,
Yeah, just wanted.
I want to be, yeah, thank you for that, Mr. Becker.
This is the build out for the additional courtroom on the 5th floor of the new courthouse. That would be for Judge Nichols. Currently, they're moving all around.
I wanted to make sure everyone was aware that it's.
Yeah,
The same money could not be used for
Correct.
non-capital expenses.
Correct, it is capital, one time. Go ahead, Mr. Lambert.
I don't know if anybody else, has anybody else toured the courthouse where they're at? I did as well, and the current situation doesn't seem ideal, but seems very workable. But I have yet, so I have a hard time voting for, I understand we have 24 million, I understand it's only came in way lower than what we expected. This seems like a want, not a need, so that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I walked it with Mark Smith and the judge who will go in that courtroom. And I've talked to Judge Oliver about it, and I believe Judge Gay as well. And they're really leapfrogging to make room for that one judge who was state appointed.
Did you go to the current courtroom that they're using?
I went through all 4 courtrooms on the 5th floor.
No, I'm talking about the one that they're using right now.
Well, what they're using is they're kind of bouncing between. She's being bounced from courtroom to courtroom depending on schedules.
But they're also using the one on the first floor.
I haven't seen the one on the first floor.
If I may.
That's what Judge Gay
I've been
told me
there
when I
quite
was
often,
standing in the
and
courtroom.
that's the jury assembly room is what that's designated as. Yes, that's the one they use for the leapfrogging.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say I was in the first floor courtroom. I met a young lady in town that was interested in interning with the judges. So she and I spent a whole day doing court. I've probably done a lot of courtrooms with her. She's doing really well. But yes, that room is very nice on the first floor, and it's very doable for a courtroom. So I think I'm going to. I understand what you're saying.
About that courtroom.
Let me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask.
I understand that it's the jury selection.
I'm
on
just
the
telling you
board.
what
No,
they
I
get.
understand that that's the name on
I've seen
the.
court happen in there.
I'm gonna
Yes.
ask a question. So we have a court building that has areas that are unfinished.
The
Lots of
entire
them.
4th floor.
So what is, so that's a fact. I'm just laying out facts here. That's a fact. Prices are going up, and by the way, if I had been here when the courtroom, the courthouse was, that outline had been out, I would have been against it and tried to de-scope the thing, putting it out there. But I can't go
Are you
back.
talking about the whole courthouse?
The whole courthouse.
Yeah, me
I would,
too.
but I can't, we cannot go back in time and unbuild the
It's there
courthouse.
now.
So, there's, this is kind of the same thing with the $700,000, right? I didn't make that agreement with Gallatin, but, you inherit these things and you just gotta make the most pragmatic thing. So we have a courthouse and it is unfinished, that's a fact. Prices have been increasing more over the last 3 or 4 years than they have over the last 10 years. That has not shown signs of stoppage. That's also a fact. Like, now look, prices, maybe they can come down, but the trend is that they have not been. So I guess I really don't understand. We also have a judge who needs a courtroom and is currently not assigned a full-time courtroom. That's a current need, not a future need. And maybe it's a need nice to have, you can argue, but we have a judge right now who is using a room that is being co-utilized for jury selection. These are all facts. So I really don't understand why we wouldn't why we would wait. We have the money in capital, that's another fact. Like, why are we waiting? I would really be interested in understanding, given all those facts, why people are against it, Mr. Becker, then Ms. Boyd, and Mr. Harrison.
Just a comment, back when we, previous commission or whichever year that was approved, I mean, the judge in question that position didn't even exist.
Right.
So if it had existed, a courtroom would have been built and included in the scope of, but the idea was we're going to leave it unfinished and then build as needed. And again, that judge position, I don't know how old it is, but it's
not
a year maybe,
not
whatever.
even a year.
Yeah, whatever. So that's just a little background of why that courtroom wasn't included to begin with, because the position didn't even exist. Anyway, that's all.
Ms.
Maybe
Boyd,
obvious.
And
but
Mr. Hyde, Ms. Boyd, don't get him because you.
You make great points, but I also say I walked around a lot with my my young friend that wants to be a lawyer. For some reason, she wants to be a lawyer. And a lot of those courtrooms that we have finished were empty. I mean, they're empty a lot of days. We have a lot of days that we're not holding court in the courtrooms that we have judges in. I wouldn't mind seeing a schedule of how many days we're using all those courtrooms. And I understand there is reports out there, but we've never seen them. I don't know where to get them. They're magical, I guess. But I was over there like 2-3 different days, wandering around, seeing what it would be like to be a lawyer with this young girl. And there were a lot of courtrooms that just aren't used. I mean, they don't have court today. That's what I'm told. That judge does not have court today. Who's in this courtroom? Well, he doesn't have court on Monday. Well, who's in this one? He don't have court on Friday. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I understand cost today. I just want to say I saw a lot of not use.
Mr. Hyde.
My thinking on this, I'd really like to express is that, and I did take 2 tours, escorted by judges through the facilities, so I heard it straight from the judges. First of all, I think it was probably a waste of money to have built that courthouse. I just would not vote for it, period. But we have it. It's here. And we can't go back. Secondly, things become quite a bit more expensive. I mean, that's just a fact, because I sat here and we talked about developing certain things on the 4th floor of this building for some time before we actually did it. And it was so cheap to have done it when we first started talking about it. And then when we started developing the 4th floor of this building, it was astronomical costs that we encountered in doing it. So obviously, sooner or later, we're going to be having to finish this courtroom, and it's going to cost the taxpayers a lot more money to do it. We have the judge, and it's going to happen. And we might incidentally walk over there and find a courtroom empty, but we don't know how long, when, what's happening. But what they did tell me that also bothered me a little is what our chairman said, that that room was used for a number of different things, including juries. And they were very concerned with using that space because it took extra security, because it was not there with the other courtrooms, and did not have the space did not have the security that the others did have, in the judges' quarters and so forth. So when I look at the big picture, even though I was against that building altogether, when I look at all of the other facts, I think I'm going to have to vote, and I'm certainly not one to vote for extra money for anything. I think I'm going to have to say the most reasonable thing to do to save taxpayer money now or in a few years probably is to vote for this.
Yes, sir. Mr. Harrison?
Well,
And then-
I'm not disagreeing with anything that's been said here. In fact, Ms. Boyd made one of the points I was gonna make. But I've also got a highway department that's probably housed in the oldest and most dilapidated building we've got in this county. And that one they actually need a new building there. So, you know, what are we putting our priority on? A little convenience? Or if you want to take some money out of capital, let's allocate some money to build them a new building.
I got a great building for the highway department.
Middle of downtown?
Is it called TRC?
Yeah. I didn't say that. That's a good idea, though. Is that a motion?
I'll second.
It is not a motion.
No, it is not.
Mr. Harrison, anything else?
No, it is not.
Mr. Lambert?
I just want to clarify, my question was not to squash it all together. My question is, and you may have just answered it, and I didn't think about that, is you're starting about facts. It is a fact to not build out a completely new one, but to fit the one that is currently there instead of temporary tables. It would be, I think it was $50,000 for furniture. So let's bump that and say $100,000 versus $700,000. My question is, has that been explored? If it has been explored, why doesn't that work? And is it security that needs to cause that? Or is it just a convenience? That's where my question is. It's nothing against the judge. It's nothing against the courthouse. I think it's a beautiful building. I agree. I think it was overbuilt. I'm also not a fan of spending money. I understand that build costs go up. I also understand that we sit here for hours trying to get $21,000 from a different line item, instead of saying, hey, what about this instead?
Mr. Klein?
Well, I think Commissioner Boyd has made several good points about maybe with the right security system at $50,000 or whatever in that one room where they do the jury selection, maybe that would make a lot more sense. Or you're absolutely right. I've been there on Fridays and nobody's holding court, it seems like. And why is that? Why does all the judges take Fridays off? I don't know.
I didn't say that.
No.
For the record.
I was going to say, for the record, nobody.
I'm going to stay way over here.
Okay.
I did not make a motion about the other building, and I did not say that.
All right.
Hope you don't ever get a traffic ticket.
Well, what we don't know is what Commissioner Boyd said, is we don't know what their schedule looks like from any given week to any given week. Perhaps we should defer this 1 month and get that information from the judges.
Go ahead.
That's not a motion.
Okay.
I don't have a dog in this fight, however, judges use their courtrooms, they set them up, they keep books in there, it's almost like a second office, so that's where it would be a benefit.
Okay.
They don't know their schedule either, they don't know if they're gonna have to sit a jury in the middle of a jury, they don't know if it's gonna go to trial, there could be settlement, I mean, they just don't know. Fridays came up. Fridays in most counties are what you call motion days. And the purpose of that is to run through motions, and a lot of motion days in fairly early. But you're never going to get a judge to be able to tell you, on Wednesdays I do this, on Thursdays I do that. So
Okay, that explains
that's
it.
not a possibility. And I'm not advocating one way or the other, but this is an important thing for the judges, just in some sort of routine in being set up. Because I've walked into some courtrooms and it looks like they've got so many books and not just fiction, but, well, I guess some would argue the Constitution's fiction. But,
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that either.
but my point being, if they need stuff, they've got to go run back to their office to get it when they know usually what they need at any given time. It's going to be sitting there right at their desk as the trial's going on. So having said all that,
Mr. Harrison?
So why is this coming in November? Why isn't this part of the budget process? We've had that question.
Well, we did have it in the budget
it
process.
started last
It
budget.
started, and what we did was we pulled down a sufficient, if I recall, so we originally set aside several million.
It was 2 million.
And then we
left the architect.
And then we left, yeah, and then I do believe that we gave guidance to go ahead and get bids on it so that we could price it before we put money to it. I think the finance department did exactly what we asked them to do.
Correct.
And now they're coming back, so this.
Voting on that.
No.
During the, it
That-
was
that's
discussed
what I
during the
heard.
budget.
This is exactly how I remember, go ahead.
May I speak?
Yes.
To your point, that the courtroom is like a second office. We are also electing a judge, and it will be that judge. She's running. You said you toured the courtroom with the judge that would be using that. Who did you tour with?
Her name escapes me, but.
Judge Nichols.
Nichols, it was Nichols.
And
yeah.
she's up for reelection.
Yeah, so some judge is
Somebody's
somebody's
gonna
gonna be in
Right,
there.
so if it's a second office, do they have no say in what goes on in that courtroom? In the layout, in the furniture, in any of it?
No, they have no say.
Who decides?
Well, that was a good question, because that was one of the complaints of Thompson.
So who
Oliver.
decides?
It was the architect.
Yeah, so we put a bid out.
And, well, am in agreement with Commissioner Harrison. When we voted for this, we voted to hire, we voted to, for $150,000 for an architect, or was it $100,000?
It was 100.
150.
It was something like, but,
Yes,
150.
not more than 150.
no, I agree, but we didn't, so we haven't put any funding toward this. This is, we don't have to do anything. Like, you can vote for it, not vote for it, but I'm just saying that this is what we wanted. This is the next step. We put out an architect, we got the specs, and then we put the specs out to bid, and then we've got this back, and we can vote it, don't vote for it. I mean, it's up to you.
And if I'm not mistaken, the architect reduced their price because they were just mimicking the other rooms.
Well, that would be my question. Are they going to build it to the same specs as the previous room, same millwork?
Scott
depth, et
Shamrock
cetera?
is here.
Oh.
Casey
Without
Morgan.
objection, we suspend the rules.
Second.
Okay.
So yes, that courtroom would mirror exactly what the other courtrooms on that floor are.
So same
And
spec.
also to just give you guys a little bit more information, the 5th floor is set up for the state because those are the state courtrooms, and it's my understanding that all the other floors don't have those same requirements. So this courtroom would also have that state requirement built in, because all the servers and everything are on that 5th floor.
Great. Ms. Boyd, that's fair. Is there any other questions? Okay, well, Ms. Boyd go ahead. Did you have something for the group? Did you have a question here?
Maybe Scott could confirm with me. I toured the back offices also, and saying that this furniture is for their offices, I don't think that's correct. I think this furniture is for the courtroom. The office suites are different, and I won't say, but one of our judges was, anyway, I think they buy their own furniture, because we had furniture talk, and it was glamorous. Y'all can determine where I was at.
So what I did
Is-
with the furniture.
Yeah, is the furniture in the courtroom or in the back?
It's
in
solely
suites?
the courtroom.
It's solely the courtroom, so
And
this
what
is
happened
not
was the architect
a
went
judge's
through a
furniture.
Previous one, like one of the other, we went through multiple
It's the
courtrooms.
same
And
spec.
Yeah, they
The furniture's the
determined
same
about
spec.
how much the cost would be to mimic, and they said, hey, it's about $50,000.
And it's the wallpaper, the ceiling fixture.
No, so the furniture's like all the chairs, the tables, and all the extra in there, absent the pews would be included in the build out.
Right, but the wallpaper's the same
All-
from courtroom to
everything's gonna be the
courtroom. And talk to us about the jury room on the first floor. Why would that or would that not work?
It sounds like it's a state court problem.
He's the
I'm just saying it
architect.
doesn't have those, I'm fairly certain the state servers are not down on that first floor, they're only on the 5th floor, because that's the only state courtrooms that we have.
Oh, go ahead.
One other
Then Becker, then
question.
you.
How much of the budget is the electronics? It's pretty high, isn't it?
I'd have to go back through.
Okay.
Mr. Becker.
So it was the same spec as the existing courtrooms.
Mhm.
So how much of the $100,000 did it take for them to give us the same specs?
I have $85,000 with the architect to do everything all the way to the end.
And there was mechanical engineering and electrical engineering that had to go into that as well, just to let
Mr. Lambert.
Sorry, I'm actually getting information from judges that I wanted to share because I feel like it is pertinent, that I did not think of. And to Mr. Williams' point earlier, this is what happens when people are making decisions and don't reach out to those people. So that's what I did. But from a safety perspective, that first floor courtroom is full of windows, and for a jury to sit there, they would either have to be built in or something to happen with that for active shooter situations. Also, to Mr. Shamrock's point, the AV in the state is all housed on one floor, and you would have to go through down to the other floor.
Any other questions, Mr. Shamrock? Without objection, I'll bring us back into rules. Thank you, sir. Okay, any other discussion on this? Okay, Mr. Klein.
When we were originally talking about this, I knew that the price was gonna be somewhere between 500 and 750, even though we were told it was $2 million. So, I think sooner or later, we're gonna have to build this thing out.
That's my take.
And I'm kind of like, if we got 24 million in capital and we're talking about 724 to build this thing out, you kind of got to bite the bullet, and that's where I'm at, and I will vote for it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Can you restate the,
No, so the motion is to approve, and, so I approve, and the motion is to approve, and, I'll waive the second reading. Is the second good with that? Okay, all in favor?
aye.
Any opposed?
No.
I'll need a second reading. We'll need a second reading. Okay, so, we moved on. Highway Department, $38,480.
Motion to approve.
Second. I got it to it before you did. Mr.
Hold
Harrison.
on, Chairman.
Yeah, go ahead.
Didn't we just fund a ton of raises for them 6 months ago?
This was,
It's a transfer.
yeah, but that's a good,
He's cutting a clerk part-time and other contracted services, and giving it.
So that is a good question though, Ms. Browning, is that, are there any long-term implications of doing this? Because we typically do set this, I mean, I'm fine with it, but we typically do, and by the way, I've seen this done in other departments, so like, I'm not saying no, but we typically do set salaries during budget, and so what's the implication here?
I don't know if these are annual increases or not. Of course, 13,000, that's coming from a non-payroll line. So that increases your salary budget.
What line?
Two.
You may have to ask
Other
about.
contracted services.
Yeah,
Um,
man,
And if I may,
go ahead.
I remember Mr. Ellis saying that his clerk, he needed an extra clerk because his people couldn't answer the phone. If you remember that exchange we had.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, let's move your POs over to finance, and then your people can answer the phones better. I clearly remember that. But now he doesn't need that clerk, so who's answering the phones?
So, may I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Of our chairman, of highway. What are these raises?
He just gave 3 or 4 employees just some bumps, some salary bumps, I guess, to keep them. To keep
A
them.
bump or a bonus? What did
No,
you
a
say?
bump.
So this is a recurring, this one's for $11,500.
One?
One labor
One-
worker.
It's one line.
One line.
It's one
There's
account
7
line. There's
employees, it
multiple
looks like.
people in the line, but I
Does it
don't
matter?
know.
One of them
Social
got
Security or anything on
11,000, the labor got
Are the
11,000.
bennies in it?
Doesn't that?
I'm gonna
The
here. I'm gonna
13,000
motion to
that would
defer
have
this
to be-
for a month, and so that Mr. Ellis can explain like just the details of it.
Second.
That's my motion. I'm not against it, but there's some questions here. My motion is to defer.
Could I-
Second.
Mr. Hyde.
Okay, in regard to the deferral, I would like to see it deferred until we could get more information and enjoy the explanation, and I'm not opposed. He knows more than we do about who needs to get what, as long as it's reasonable. But the timing is not so great, I don't think.
And my understanding was that it was just transfer money, and no new money here involved, it's all within his
The
budget.
problem with, I would actually be okay, because I will state, and Mr. Hyde, you've said this many times during the budget process, and I agree. I want to get back to a point where we're actually not line iteming every single employee, and we're telling the departments, hey, you're getting this much as a percent or whatever, and let them do as they wish. So I wouldn't have any problem with that. The problem here is that we're moving from a non-salary line item to a salary line item. And that is the specific thing I have a question on. Like, if it was salary to salary, I would be fine with it, but it's non-salary to salary, that's a little bit different. That's my primary problem. And not saying no, but I need to understand that.
And Mr. Chairman, that 38,480 is probably a half a year,
Yeah.
and so it'll be double, so.
Yeah.
From salary to non-salary, non-salary.
No, we're 6 months down the road.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
From non-salary to salary.
Yes.
Because
For raises, I don't know because.
okay.
That's why we want to, I want to.
Why does it bother you?
Oh,
what?
because,
the
oh, you were asking me for
Yes.
because if you have a non-salary item can be recurring, it can be non-recurring, but a salary item is always going to be recurring, and I don't know if there are benefits wrapped up in it. I don't know if this is covering the full cost. What's happening when you move something from a non-salary item to a salary is that we're potentially signing ourselves up for more than what's on the paper in the future. And I'm not even saying no, I just want to, it's hard to make projections during budget if we make changes like that too much throughout the year.
Okay.
That's my reason. Any other? So my motion is to defer, Mr. Becker.
Do we recall if he requested these additional bonuses above and we struck them? I mean, I know I don't vote on this the specific committee, but I would like to have more information as well before you all approve that, because that is a slippery slope. And I think, I know that some other departments, larger departments within the county, do these interdepartmental transfers throughout the year. And to your point, it basically bumps up their salary where you end up having to fund it the next year.
Yeah.
So that's a,
Oh, yeah, is this
yeah, I mean,
part of his MOE?
yeah,
It's-
I would,
Would be.
yeah, it would,
There's
it
some-
would definitely.
it would be.
definitely, yeah. So I would, yeah.
Any other?
Y'all can vote however y'all wanna vote, but.
Mr. Klein?
Does highway department have MOEs on anything?
Yes, they have a
Yes,
5-year
I hear
moving
every-
average.
Okay.
5-year moving
On
average.
labor only?
On total cost.
Total cost.
Total recurring cost.
Okay,
So not capital.
okay.
We've argued about that, but I'm of the opinion that capital doesn't go into that, so. All right, any other discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, motion carries. We will defer this, and I'll make a call I'm sure I will get a call from,
You will.
from Mr. Ellis tomorrow, maybe tonight. That's okay, I'm used to people being mad at me, it's all right.
If we bring it back when we bring it back, can you annualize the numbers?
Yeah, yes, I want to understand
I don't
that.
think anything will break. It says for future raises, so it's not like he needs it. It doesn't read like he needs it tomorrow.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I'll reach out.
And I'm sure he'll reach into me
Call
too.
Matt on the way home.
Into,
Okay, Health Department, communications agreement, Ms. Browning, I know a little bit less about this one, go ahead.
This is, I put in-house here, if we need him to come up and speak, but it's changing out their current phone system to the one the rest of the county has. And per IT, there's no additional cost.
So no additional cost, it's just an approval. All right, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Millersville Public Library, the multi-year agreement.
Motion.
We have a motion, second. Mr.
Q.
Klein? Do you waive this, we don't need to waive through a second reading for this, right? Okay, go ahead.
that library, to my knowledge, Commissioner Bergdorf, has not run it through the library board. This expenditure.
This is she doesn't have to ask permission for line to do this. She's in charge of her daily operations. She's allowed to come to budget and ask for things.
Okay, that was news to me. I thought the library board came on her behalf. So, because this is Zubeen thing
Well,
is.
perhaps at the time she put this in, the current chairman, we weren't sure where she was living. That could have been a problem. She might not have been a county resident, so she may just put it in, but she is allowed to come and ask for
Yeah, each
budget items, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I genuinely don't know.
The chairman presents the budget.
At the end,
Typically, when
That's true.
the chairman would come, would be for they would be for larger line items, but the chairman is not here. Yes.
2 years ago, I pushed forward for the carpet at the Gallatin Children's Library due to the safety issue. It did not go through the library. I took it straight here, and we took care of it.
Yeah, that's happening.
So this is a 3-year lease, right?
Yeah,
Is
It's a
3
multi-year software license.
for,
and she's been through the process of making sure that the contracts were correctly signed.
if
Law
I could
director.
interject.
go ahead, Mr.
The way the library board's set up with the library directors do have autonomy to do what they need to with their specific location, so this is not unusual or
Yeah,
uncustomary.
and I understand that we intentionally changed that, right? We dissolved the system. to
Whether,
give-
I'm just telling you what it says now.
No, no,
Yeah,
and
how it got there.
that's right, well, we intentionally did that. There was a library system and this body dissolved that. And we did it because, I mean, what I saw, and I think what others saw, was that we were taking away librarians and we were adding administrative positions. And so we said, nope, we're gonna decentralize this. Yes, the library board does present the budget, but outside of, for like tactical things, I do think that these have been, and like I said, I genuinely don't, I don't know the details of the library's bylaws, so I'm gonna go with what you've said. But I do know that we have done similar things like this, and it's not been a huge problem.
I know it's not much money, but is there a budget issue here?
No.
Does she have a,
This is
She
just for
manages her
ratification
own
of a
budget.
multi-year
All the
contract.
Yeah, it's,
library-
this
all
is
the
not
library
Call the question.
directors manage
All
their
right,
own
we have
budgets.
a motion, call a question.
Second.
All in
Just
favor,
trying to find
all in
out.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, question's been called, we're gonna vote. Motion, there's a motion to approve, item C3 unamended, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
yes and no?
Okay, so we have one no, this does not need a second reading, however, so this will go to the full commission. Okay, volunteer fire department potential one-time appropriation, this is from the October commission. I'd entertain motions of anything. Is there a motion to do something here?
Motion to approve $650,000.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve 650,000, I'll get in my own queue. This one's hard for me. And it's, I'm fine to help, but we're just kicking a can down the road. I want to make an amendment that I will approve, and I don't know that it's going to go anywhere, but that I will approve, that this is approved contingent on the county requesting the state to allow us to put a question regarding a fire tax to referendum.
Second.
So, we have a motion and a second. Okay, Mr. Lauder.
If you'll notice in your packet, we posted notice for this for commission as required by law. So any deviations are going to result in republication in another commission meeting.
But
If this doesn't get passed.
As is?
But
No, I'm not saying that, but if there's any hiccup on the way this notice is done, we'll have to redo it.
But the notice, are you saying that my motion is not, would delay us?
I don't know, the state, you're talking about sending something up to the state
No.
for them to authorize?
No. It is contingent on the commission passing that. It's not contingent on the state doing anything. It's contingent, Mike, let me make super clear what I'm making this contingent on. It is contingent on the commission voting to make a request of the state. It is not contingent on.
Okay,
on the-
no, that's,
Yeah.
you're taking two different directions.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not
no,
saying that.
That does not affect any of
Yeah, I'm not
this.
saying that
Okay.
the state, that we have to wait on the state. I'm just saying that I will support this.
Are you saying contingent or in addition to?
It is contingent. What I'm saying is.
So if the commission doesn't pass it, they don't get the $650?
That's exactly
That's right. Now, I mean, that can be amended on the floor, of course,
It'll
but
be amended now.
it can be. You can. But
I'm gonna move to make an amendment.
my motion is to, listen,
Down that amendment.
and I'm gonna talk about this real quick. I actually thought Mr. Mansfield's idea was probably the best one. I like that idea of having a subscription service, but it didn't go anywhere. So what I'm interested in is solving a problem here, and just continuing to. We started. Not long before I got here, I think we gave around $100 and something thousand in total to the volunteer fire departments, and now the proposal is for $100,000 per station. So
No.
yes, if we go from 650,000 to 1.3 million, it's about $100,000 per station.
That number is
So is that what we're talking, 1.3?
Yeah, so we're doubling from 650 to 1.3. So I want to be super clear about what these numbers portend.
I was thinking of when we came in 22, it was 1.2 million additional that they got that paid for the new station and the fire.
That was
That's what I was
capital.
Right, and that was the number I was
Yeah,
thinking
got it.
of
And
when
I
you
don't, yeah,
said
so
that.
let's be, let me pull a couple things back here. So this was to Mr. Becker's point earlier, right? Like we were talking about building out a station or buying a piece of equipment, that can come out of capital because it's very specific. I would be, if there was some way to put something out of capital for the fire departments, that would be a lot, this is being requested to come out of the general
I'm fixing
fund.
to eat that capital up when I build me a highway bill.
Well, we'll see. I mean, maybe we just need to do something with TRC building, but anyway. So I just want to be super clear here. The motion here for the 650,000 is is coming out of the general fund. And let's not kid ourselves, this is going to be recurring. We say one time, but it's gonna be recurring. So I want to solve the problem, and I don't want to kick the can down the curb. If somebody says that, Matt Schoaf wants to tax everybody, I'm not saying tax anybody. I'm saying put it to vote, and we should never be afraid of asking people to vote. So my motion is for it to be contingent on that, and I'll go Ms. Boyd, and then Mr. Law Director, and then Mr. Klein, and then Mr. Hyde. Go ahead. Or sorry, Mr. Mr. Becker. Sorry, go ahead.
He don't even go here. He's not even a part of this.
Go ahead, Ms. Boyd.
One of the things that I've said, like when we talk about salaries, is equity. So I haven't seen, like, some of these fire departments are larger than others. Some cover more space than others. We have had no discussion. I have seen no boards, no graphs showing me how much area we're covering. I'm not seeing any response times. I'm not seeing any training standards. I'm not seeing any of that. And I'm being asked for a lot of money. And I agree with you. It's gonna come back next year. I'm all for it. Actually, I wanna raise taxes to pay for it. That's all good, because we've gotta pay for it somehow. Either we're gonna tax the money we've already raised, or we're gonna make more tax money. So we need a highway building or something, I hear. I don't know. But spending money is spending money. It doesn't matter if we're raising taxes today, or we raised them 6 months ago, or we took it yesterday. It doesn't matter. What I don't see is the equity about what I'm getting from each station. I'm hearing we're gonna give this to A, B, C, and D. Everybody gets the same thing. I don't know how many people I have, how much I'm serving, what my response times. I know nothing about any of the statistics or anything. So I would say we need a big pause to determine where our needs are, because it may be greater at Fire Department A than it is at D, and we have no idea. And we might be doing better with our money over here, our response time, because the houses are closer. Have no idea. So I want more.
Go ahead, Mr. Sittler.
I would just like to point out, since I love going to meetings at night so much, we have a volunteer fire department ad hoc that has yet to meet. And everything you all are discussing is exactly what they're gonna be discussing.
When are they gonna, we have any idea when they're gonna meet?
There's
It's
one
next
scheduled.
week.
Okay.
The 20th?
And it's a newly appointed ad hoc, and we're,
Who's,
I'm on.
well, HEMS, I believe.
My-
Did you write down my
did it, but-
question?
Well, I'm gonna respond to that real quick, and,
did you write down my question?
oh, that's okay. Well, I'm gonna go down the line. I don't need to respond. Anything else, Mr. Sittler?
No, that was it.
Good point.
But I will.
Mr. Becker.
So I want some information about the referendum piece of it. What, because that's what we're talking about, right? The motion.
Mm-hmm.
What would the revenue, how much revenue do we think that would?
We don't know.
The fire tax, okay, what would that, in theory, what would that revenue cover?
So here's the general gist of it. So first off, the answer to the specific numbers, the question there is the purpose of that ad hoc.
Okay.
To come up with a study, to conduct a study to get an estimate on what a cost would be, and maybe even a menu of options, right?
To do what?
To provide, broadly to provide fire service in the unincorporated part of the county. But that could mean a lot of different things, right? Like
Correct.
the tactics of it. You could have everything from the one hand of a volunteer fire department plus, there would be maybe a volunteer fire department to keep the original structure with a bit more support and potentially have like, a roving, a kind of a RFQ squad, right? A quick reaction squad, something like that. You could have you could go all the way to a full service, right? I mean, all the way over to like a fully professional service. There's some, I'm throwing these things out there. I don't have all of the answers. My point is that that's why we put this committee together, and that you could have somebody come out with a plan.
Yeah, okay, so I understand that. So then.
And I don't know what these are gonna cost, right?
Yeah.
So we can't answer that question
Yeah,
yet.
because a referendum would likely need to, I mean, it's a yes or no, right?
It's gonna be
I mean-
it will be a yes or no question, and it will, whether or not it has a specific dollar amount to it, I don't know that it necessarily does, but we will need to provide for.
Okay, so my point being, I think, is the commission could implement an assessment, whatever you want to call it, property, fire tax, and an assessment on their property, whatnot, for that service, without having to put anything on referendum.
Yes, we could.
Right, okay, so make sure everyone
We
understands
could.
that. And then.
I would be against that.
Okay,
But
and then, so let's say we get to referendum and they vote and it doesn't pass.
here's my take on it. I'm responding to you here, but here's
Yeah.
my take on it. I live in the city. This is not my call to make. I would be voting to impose a tax on people I don't represent. So I don't think that's the right thing for somebody in the city to do. We nevertheless have to vote on it. So before I would make any vote whatsoever, this is Matt's personal opinion and why I want a referendum. I want to hear from the citizens what they want. I want to hear from the citizens in the county what they want. And I want them to be fully informed about what it is that they're getting, what it is that's costing them. And I want them to make that call, and I want them to tell it to me. And I will tell you this, if they vote for it, then I will vote for it, because that's what they're telling me they want. If they vote against it, I'll vote against it, because they're telling me, and then we'll come back and we'll have to figure out. What they're telling me at that point is, hey, the status quo is what it is. And they're also telling me, I might infer from that like the county is free to give the volunteer fire departments whatever it sees fit, because we don't want to change that number. Nevertheless, I don't want to be somebody, I don't want to impose that tax coming from the city on county residents, because I don't represent county residents. I hope that makes sense.
No, I understand what you're saying. But if it gets voted, if it gets a referendum and it gets voted no, so what's the plan to? Okay, I'll answer the question. The funding will come from from the rest of our funds, and so now the entire county, including your constituents, are paying for it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's what's happening now.
So we have the decision, we have the choice, we have the ability to tell the non-county or non-city, the county residents, that they can pay for it. If we don't do that, then the city residents are going to pay for it.
Well, or we can, vote to not continue to increase it.
I understand.
We don't have to do anything.
Okay, but I just want everyone to understand that at the end of the day, the vote of the referendum is not going to matter, in my opinion.
I disagree with that.
Because the funding's going to end up being there, and it's either going to be out of property taxes, or it's going to be out in an assessment on the properties outside the city.
I disagree with that. Well, I disagree that it will have no impact, because people.
I mean, this 1.3 is out of property tax.
Because I'm telling you that, like, I'll vote based on what is done. So if the vote comes back that they're for it, I'll vote for it. I think you would, if a vote comes back that the citizens in the unincorporated area would support a fire tax, then I think you get a lot more support for it than if they voted against it. So I think it absolutely.
Yeah,
I think it absolutely.
understand
I just disagree that it doesn't matter. I agree with you that your comment that if it doesn't pass, we're in status quo. And what I would also agree with you is, right now, the cities are, everybody says, oh, the cities are so evil, and the whole Gallatin thing is, I can have some sympathy for that, but in this particular case, the cities are subsidizing the county residents.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
100%.
but that's just how these things work sometimes. Mr. Hyde and then Mr. Mayor.
There have been some good points made here, and actually, probably there are very few things in the county that are as worthy as the job that a volunteer fire department does. However, I think everyone ought to realize before we go jumping off too far into this, that this county, if you take a bookkeeper's balance sheet, we are in a deficit. We are spending for the last several years more than we are taking in. Is that not right, Mr. Chairman?
That's not right, Mr.
No.
We move
No,
pennies.
we balanced by
Moving pennies.
taking reserves, which normally would offset any increases. And on the next year's budget, we've taken reserve, we're taking money from pennies from capital to make the balance sheet work. But a typical bookkeeping balance sheet, we are operating in a deficit. I don't care what you say.
But I'm just saying mathematically, Mr. Hyde,
I
I'm just saying
saw it.
mathematically you're wrong, but.
Mathematically, I am right.
And the reason I'm saying that is that we could go, if we kept everything at MOE, we would never have to have a tax increase. If we kept everything at MOE of this year, we would never have to have a tax increase.
Well, then
Is
let's do
that
it.
true? If we kept everything at
You
MOE?
could never do that.
You can't do that.
I'm just, but then you can't say, well, wait, then you can't say that we're operating at a deficit. Now, we are climbing toward, so what you're talking about is overburn or underburn. So here's how much money we are taking in revenue. We are right here. We are taking in more in revenue than we are spending. That is a fact. That is absolutely a fact. However,
That absolutely is not
it
a
absolutely
fact.
is. Ms. Browning, is that a fact? I mean, it's a fact.
You are a smart woman.
It is
She said, I'm not
absolutely,
answering that.
it is absolutely a fact that we are not spending more
Why
money
did
than we're
you
taking
take
revenue.
pennies from capital to make the sheet balance?
We took pennies from debt service that we
Well,
had
our
to.
debt service
We had to
is-
take pennies from debt service
For what reason?
Hey,
because if we wouldn't have taken it from debt service, then we would have had to pay money on arbitrage because we were paying so much into debt service that the feds were going to penalize us for it.
And I kept hearing us at the table saying that we needed to, well, we could take one more penny for this.
We
We're
have
spending
about
in the
9
county.
more pennies we can run, actually 9 to 11. We're running at an underburn rate of 9 to 11 pennies right now.
We're pushing for a tax increase.
And we will have, if we continue to grow if we continue to grow at our current rate, we would have, I think you will have a tax increase in 3 to 5 years. That's when, and even then you could stave it off a little bit.
I
So-
don't want it in 3 to 5 years.
Well, so here's, Mr. Hyde, I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is where you gotta do math. Would anybody in here suggest that we could fund current operations in 1880s dollars?
No.
Well, by the way the state has us set up, you have a flat amount. We get $135 million flat. It does not account for inflation. It doesn't account for inflation. So you,
I'm prepared to answer your question.
okay, go ahead, Ms. Browning.
In fiscal year '23, in the general fund, expenditures were more than revenue by almost 1.7 million. In '24, revenue was more than expenditures by just over 2.4 million.
Revenue was over expenditures.
In fiscal year '25, these aren't the actuals, this is what was in budget. It was projected that expenditures would be more by
So
almost
it's
1.2.
back and forth. So
Yes.
expenditures were more this year.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Well,
And for fiscal year '26, what was budgeted expenditures were more than revenues by $228,000.
$228,000.
I'll conclude what I'm going to say, and Mr. Chairman, I'm not attacking you, I'm just attacking what you're saying that's not right. But,
So I was, okay.
I have a novel suggestion that we operate county as we operate our homes. You have X amount of money coming in, you budget X amount of money to spend. If you don't, you get into trouble. And this thing about growth in the county, it doesn't please me to see these apartment complexes and these condos and these subdivisions. If one, and I'm speaking as a former director of schools, if just one of those houses or apartments has one child, you're going to be spending in excess of $10,000 on that child. That property tax is not going to pay for the schools, much less roads, libraries, everything else that you have, fire department, everything else you have to have. So this huge growth is a dog chasing its tail. It gets you by today, but it catches you tomorrow.
Well, I don't disagree with anything that you just said, Mr. Hyde. I didn't say, I don't agree with, or disagree with anything you just said. But if we want to not have to raise any, the vast majority of our revenues are spent on recurring, on salary. So here's, I mean, this is the truth, and this is the truth that people have got to be honest with themselves about, because it's easy to say that, and I'm not, and I'm, again, Mr. Hyde, I'm not attacking you, I'm just attacking some of the things you're saying. If you want to keep us from having a tax increase, we need to tell every sheriff's officer, no more raises.
No.
We need to
Some
tell,
raise, but
we
you
need to
gotta be
tell,
careful,
we
though.
need to tell, where's that, because again, we get a maintenance of, we only get a set number of dollars. The dollars are flat. We don't get new dollars every year, except maybe a little bit on sales tax. And the sales tax extra that we get is not sufficient to give even a 3%
You get
increase.
additional property tax.
No, we do not, sir.
Oh, yes, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Every new house built in this county, I was director of schools, and I watched the sales tax, the property tax.
We are
Every new
reset every
development
year.
brings in additional property tax.
The state resets us so that we have to reset the tax rate so that it is revenue neutral.
Yes, that has nothing to do with new developments paying new.
That absolutely
property
has,
tax.
we get this, that's exactly what it means. It means that if we have 100 houses and they were all paying $1, now you have 200 houses, they're all paying 50 cents.
No, that's-
Yes, that,
no, it's not.
Mr. that- like
Ms.
we-
Finance Director says no, you're wrong.
I'm county mayor. I
Oh.
assess the property
This is,
more.
the assessor of property will tell you, we get reset at a revenue neutral rate, and in fact, you tend to lose. You lose on reappraisal.
I don't know where you got your information. I lived through it for 12 years.
All right, well, so anyway.
We're off topic
Go
of
ahead.
that.
Yeah, we are, go
Make
ahead.
a motion to move on.
Go ahead, go ahead.
If, to Eric's point, whatever your attorney Sittler, or whatever you want to call yourself.
I don't care.
To Eric's
I'll
point,
call him Mr. Klein, everybody else does.
to Mr. Klein 2.0, 3.0's point, we have a meeting next week for this ad hoc. Does anything break to punt this to next month to figure out what they're, because if we're gonna make a decision and they may come up with a different decision,
Yes.
we're gonna be right back in this same.
They're not gonna have a decision next week. It's their
And
first
it's
meeting,
after
but,
commission.
but
The
Just
notices
answer.
for this commission, I'll have to repost.
On the other hand, we can have as many ad hoc meetings as fast as we want and can. I think it, will anything break? It depends on who you ask. I think if you ask the guys behind us, it broke 2 months ago.
That's right.
So they may be in a big hurry, and I'm I'm in favor of hurrying with them, because this has been a problem a long time.
I agree.
Well, go ahead.
I think what broke is several years ago when we said this was a one-time thing and then we kept doing it.
Yep.
And so I would like to get, I live in the county, my entire district is in,
As is mine.
is in the county. It's not that I'm against it, I want to, I'm like Chairman Schoaf, I wanna fix the problem. I don't want it to be, we do this year, then next year we don't do it, and they come back and say, well, now we're hurting because we set up for this, and equipment's more expensive, and this is more expensive, and all of this, so for me, in my simple mind, letting an ad hoc whose sole mission is to figure out some solutions, or at least some ideas of solutions, would be better than us sitting here for another hour
Is that a
trying
motion?
to solve the problem. I would love to make a motion.
It's a motion to defer?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So we just argued to agree on that, Mr. Hyde, on the deferral. Okay, hold on a minute.
I didn't get my comment in. Is this the only CPA?
It's already been voted on.
It's already been voted on.
I'd like to say Mr. Hyde had some really great points.
I hold my position on how property value, or how
I didn't
revenue.
comment on that.
Motion
Okay.
approved and approved, 1 through 4.
I'll teach you how that's done.
Second, all in favor? Aye. One more motion. Second, all in favor? Aye. That's exactly how the property rates.
Building will close down.
She said
but
no.
only
It's
if
not.
That is,
only if-
Man, she said no.
You've got to
You're still on camera.
but you're not.
Was that- was that stop?
You're not capturing.
I have no idea.
Eric, does that mean that next Monday on the vote is